Hello, good afternoon or good evening, good morning, depending on your time zone. I'm Pedro Abreu, and I'm from BLIP and the Technical Institute Superior Technical of the University of Lisbon. And I'm here to talk about the role of the teacher and the importance of engaging teachers for non-formal education. I'm discussing here the teachers programs that we run at CERN, the European Laboratory for Particle Physics. And I'll start by discussing this outline of my presentation. I'll start by discussing the CERN general teachers programs, then the national teachers programs for each member state and for other countries. Then specifically about the Portuguese language teachers programs and the effects, the intended and non-intended and side effects of such programs that we have witnessed in the last 14 years or 13 years or so, and conclude on effects that we have, let's say, associated to the importance of engaging the teachers. So thanks very much for the organizers to have me at this conference. And let's start with the CERN Teachers Programs. They were launched in 1998, about 1998, so almost 23 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, on the knowledge that CERN knew that teachers are a key partners in the engaging of the future generation of scientists. And they are multiplication factors of knowledge. So they get to know about modern physics, particle physics, and their experiments and scientists. And they talk to their students later on. If you can imagine that one teacher has about 100 students per year, and for the next 10 years, it will reach 1,000 students. So every teacher, we expect to, on average, reach further on for 1,000 students. That's why these programs are so important. The CERN International Teachers Programs were started as 3 weeks long in the summer, one program per year. And then at about 2006, they started to be 2 weeks long and 2 editions per year. They are international in scope and in the audience, receiving teachers from all over the world, mostly from member states of CERN in Europe, but also from elsewhere, teachers from other countries coming from all over the world, for a total of about 50 teachers that in the present editions, one in July, one in August, are about 50 teachers per edition. In particular, about 1-2 teachers from each CERN member state. So there is the International High School Teachers Programs, HST, that runs in July, and there is the International Teacher Weeks that runs in August every year. That started like in 2016 or so, I think. Now, it's already important. It's an international program where teachers get talks in the morning about modern physics and particle physics and experiments carried out at CERN. And then in the afternoons, they go visit the experimental sites and laboratories. And in some afternoons, they also carry on hands-on activities in what we call the school laboratory at CERN, which is really a cool laboratory to practice small experiments and build on hands-on activities like the cloud chambers, workshops. Now, you might realize that for each member state and for a country like Portugal, we get 1 to 2 teachers at most on each program, and it is a bit difficult because at the end, it takes a long time to build a network of teachers. So that's why when CERN launched in 2006 and 2007, the national teachers programs, it is we grew up this network much faster. So of course, the goal is still to bring CERN and modern physics to the school communities in the country, especially in the member states, and allowing to build networks of teachers and scientists for non-formal learning education working together. There are big advantages in respect to the international programs. There are big advantages in the national teachers programs, namely they are in the native language of the teacher, which is still very important for raising questions. I imagine that for most members of this network, or for our audience of this presentation, you all speak English very well, I hope so. But it happens that in many countries, teachers are quite capable of listening English talks, English presentations, but when it comes to raising questions, and especially raising questions of a difficult subject like quantum world or modern physics or particle physics, making these questions in a foreign language, it's sometimes extremely difficult. So it's very important to these programs in the native language of the teacher for him to ease up the way he can ask questions. Also, there are many such programs per year, about 35 such programs per year. We'll see later on, except in 2020 and this year 2021, which due to the pandemic were not as many. But also a big advantage is that we get many more teachers per country in the one edition. So instead of 1 or 2 Portuguese teachers per one of the other editions, international editions, now in our program we start with 40 teachers per edition. Now we have about 20 to be able to receive all teachers from other Portuguese-speaking countries. I'll speak about this later on. But there is this big advantage of building the network of teachers much, much faster. Also, another advantage is that it only takes 1 week, which comes in formation time, and there's credits awarded to the teachers. Formation time is mandatory in almost every country for the teachers to progress in their career. So the fact that this program runs in this formation time made available at the school, it's more advantage for the teacher than the other programs which run in the vacancies, holidays time of the teacher. We also are able to tailor the program to the needs of each country, and then have many more contacts built with scientists from the country, with the teachers from that country. So this also improves a lot the contacts between scientists and teachers in the country and building effective networks to work together. Also, we can have a more effective follow-up in the country when the teachers go back to their schools by providing talks to the school, hands-on activities with the students, and having the students coming to participate in activities at university and so on. So there are these big advantages in what concerns these local national teachers programs. And we have witnessed also that after the teacher visits CERN, he is immediately strongly concerned in trying to bring his classroom to CERN or to Fermilab, one of the other big laboratories around the world. We know that the teachers visit the laboratory and they participate in such workshops 1 week long. Then they want to bring their students to visit the laboratory, and this is known also elsewhere. Now, evolution of the number of participants or number of weeks with teachers at CERN in the whole CERN Teachers Programs is shown in this graph. So it was mostly a few programs or a few weeks up to 2006. Then in 2006, we started these national teachers programs and then increased it to a stabilized number of around 35, 33 per year, with the number of participants also ranging from about 50 for about 10 years, almost 8 years, and then suddenly rising the number of participants present at CERN for one such week to more than 1,000 teachers. So it's a lot of teachers per year that participate in these programs. And if you imagine 1,000 teachers per year reaching 1,000 students in the following 10 years, these are potential 1 million students that we are reaching each year. Of course, last year was a disaster, and this year worse. No, only the last year, only the programs up to March were able to run. And so very few programs, and all programs after March were cancelled. And this year there was not yet any program run because CERN cannot open its doors to outside people in the pandemic situation. So the map and distribution of teachers participating in all these programs since 1998, 13,000 teachers have attended these programs, coming from all over the world. Well, as you can see, the majority from CERN member states, around 1,000, but about 2,000 more teachers coming from CERN non-member states, and particular associate members or other countries. 1,270 teachers come from other countries, not member or associate members, or even with agreements with the observers at CERN laboratory. So it's quite an impressive program to my point of view. Now I'll come back to the last parts, which is about the CERN Portuguese language. Well, we started as actually CERN Portuguese Teachers Programs, as Portugal is a member state of CERN. This program was launched immediately after CERN opened the programs for the member states. So we started in 2007. This is a picture of our first program with 43 teachers, 2 researchers, and the initial coordinator, and then I've been the coordinator ever since. And this picture, we also have the Portuguese Minister of Science and Technology at the time, which was here. These programs were internationalized some way in 2009, because in 2009 we realized that we could invite teachers from Brazil and Mozambique, 2 Portuguese-speaking countries, that in 2011 were teachers invited also from Angola, from Cape Verde, from São Tomé and Príncipe, from Guinea-Bissau and East Timor. So we received 73 teachers from all Portuguese-speaking countries, which also enriched quite a lot the program, because we also had a very rich session about teaching conditions in all the countries, but also in terms of building networks. Now, this is the table of the total number of teachers participating that have participated in such programs in the Portuguese language only programs. A total of 723 teachers have participated. And this shows a map of the distribution. Again, the previous map, and now with the distribution of the teachers in our country, coming from all over the place, and not only the most populous areas which are in the coastline. The teachers come also from more rural or mountainous areas with much less access to particle physics or modern physics, because not all have universities close by or are engaged in these high energy physics experiments. So the teachers also from the other countries in Brazil come from all over the place, from all over the country. And this is a big advantage of such program, that in the selection we receive really teachers from many different places. Now, about the effects in the last minutes. Well, this is a quote of many teachers, and the strong effect we noticed along the time is that the number of students or participants in our outreach activities of our laboratory has dramatically increased after 2007. So you can see up to 2007, some of the activities were organized, in particular the IPOX International Masterclasses and on particle physics. This international program ran in the spring with a strong participation from the United States as well as many other countries. What I want to stress here is the increase in number of participants in Portugal alone. The total number of participants in this program in the world is about 14,000 now. And you realize that about 10% of these come from Portugal, are Portuguese participants. And this is one of, I would say, not a typical day, but a day with a particular large number of participants, 330 participants on 2 Saturdays. And this is a Saturday, so imagine all these students exchange cinema and beach times to go to spend a full day at university to learn about particle physics and analyze real data. And this is due to the teachers that motivate them. And you can see this increase after these teachers went to our programs from 2007 on, a strong increase in the number of participants in these programs. but also a strong increase in the number of Portuguese visits of Portuguese schools to CERN that you see here in these blue bars. Another effect that we have seen strongly is the threshold marks to enter Portuguese universities, that physics was sometimes not chosen by the best students, and this was changed a long time. This is the curve I want to show, the brown curve, that in 2014 went over medicine, the lowest grade to enter medicine, and 2016 went above the top marks to enter medicine. So since 2016, the best students in Portugal choose physics or aerospatial engineering or other types of engineering, overcoming medicine, which is quite uncommon related to other countries, especially in Europe. But the most important for us is that all physics training courses in universities were completely filled up since 2018. All physics filled means that we can have the courses running at full speed, but also that it is interest for the students. So this is evidence that physics has gained interest in the school community, in the young people that choose physics for their courses in university. And it basically so that it does pay off to engage, to go to schools, to involve the teachers, and to talk to the young people to motivate them. Thank you very much for your attention. I'm available for your questions by mail. Send me questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Here is my mail, abreu@lip.pt. So thank you very much for your attention.